What's
Good
up?
morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Spring's in the air for me. You said you have 12 inches of snow.
Not us. We had grass for like a week, and not anymore.
Gotta move down here.
And the disc golf pro tour kicked in again a couple of weeks ago, so now I'm itching to get out and throw some frisbees and throw some.
Like you watch them play and then you get excited about
getting out again. Yeah.
Where do they play? Florida.
It was in Waco last weekend.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago it was in Florida, and it's in Austin, Texas this weekend.
What else is new?
Not much. I mean, business as usual, a little bit of remote viewing, trying to get outside as much as I can. Spent a few hours at the car dealership yesterday, had a crazy ass dream last night.
All right.
And I hardly ever dream. So when I dream, I pay attention, and usually it is pretty weird.
All right, go ahead. What do you got?
So the dream started with me like laying in bed.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, a toucan flew into the bedroom.
Okay.
And I have no idea, like what, like this giant bird with this giant colorful beak, and it was just following me all over the house. I tried locking it into a room, but it could reach up and open the doors, and then like it kept grabbing my leg and wouldn't leave me alone. I opened the fridge, it jumped in the fridge, ate a bunch of food, and that was it. Just weird, random, like, what is this?
So I've been studying the gene keys and the human design, and one of my keys, like my main keys, the bird is a toucan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So maybe I'm there eating all your food.
I don't know. Do you like grapes? All I wanted to eat was grapes.
Oh, okay, cool.
I don't even know if toucans eat grapes, but that was my weird dream.
So yeah, I don't know I forget which one that is, but maybe I'll find it and send you it, and maybe that reminds you of someone, or maybe you have that in you.
Yeah, I'll have to Google what the dream meaning or the totem meaning for a toucan.
Yeah, no, it was like gene key 29 or something. Anyway, but yeah,
I've never studied the gene keys before.
Human design is better because there's just so much more information. Yeah, I accidentally clicked on Kundalini Awakening the other day.
Okay.
And because it was like a positive experience. She was like, "Oh, it was the best thing," and then now every like thing. I guess maybe it's not the most exciting thing normally. I don't know anything.
I've heard stories of it kind of like screwing up people's minds is like I think that's a strong way of saying it, but people having like, weird states of being maybe afterwards.
It's a thing where like they just recognize certain parts of themselves. I don't know. I didn't know what I was clicking on. I thought I was just getting a good story, but
yeah.
Kundalini Awakening. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like in a channeling this week, something that came through was that like, the cells in our bodies have consciousness, and we have this energy field, and we talked about this in the Breakthrough Club last night too, where the strength and the size of our energy field is what dictates kind of what we can allow into our physical reality experience. So the stronger our field is and the bigger our field is, the more powerful we really are. And they were sharing how the densities that we carry in the body pockets of density that turn into, illness and disease and all this stuff. And it doesn't even have to get to a point of illness and disease, but those pockets of energies in our body actually, like, it's almost like they turn off. And when they do, it shrinks our energy field and it causes leaks in our energy field, which I found fascinating.
Do you recognize that? Do you feel that when you're
kind of? So for me, whenever I would get an energy treatment, whoever was giving me the treatment would always recognize that, like, the energy would flow down, but it would kind of stop at my hips or at my stomach area. And energy doesn't flow down my legs properly. So whenever Nick gives me Reiki, for example, she always makes sure she, like, pulls the energy, gets energy flowing down my legs again.
Do you feel different after that? I've never had that.
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay. Like your toes are tingling or something, or?
Yeah, and I know when I meditate or when I exercise, I bring conscious awareness to those parts. And what Spirit said that I should be doing, like when I exercise, like if I go on the stationary bike, typically I'll watch, Netflix, or I'll put a show on to pass the time while I'm biking. But they said, like, while I'm biking, to bring attention to parts of my body, bring my consciousness into the parts of my body that are looking kind of more awakening or more like reactivation. So the aspects of your body that feel more dense.
Do you like when you go walk or hike or bike, do you have music, or do you just like listen?
No, I just usually when I go hiking and stuff, it's in nature. So like usually I just kind of like
listen,
tune into the sounds of the trees and what's going on.
Yeah, see, that's a big problem for me. I gotta, like, because I'll watch all these podcasts and then I'm like, oh, I should go walk while I listen to these because that works. And then you get out there and it's like, oh, I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, and there's still benefit to that. It's not like you're not benefiting from your exercise if you're listening to something or watching something. But they said for me, they really want me to start activating more aspects of my energy field. And they even said with the remote viewing that I'll be able to pick up way more data when all of the parts of my physical body are online.
Okay, so like, it's just a constant like check in. You're feeling and you're saying, oh, my legs aren't having so hot today.
Well, I think like restore trauma in our body, right?
Okay.
So for me, the healing that I need is for my nervous system. My nervous system is not, ideal, right? So there's subconscious, deep-rooted layers of unsafety that is what causes my energy leaks or my, the stuff that I need to work through. So I think everybody has different aspects of themselves where their trauma is stored in their body in different places. And then it's about going into those places and working through the energy and the density and clearing it out, and then kind of reawakening that aspect of your body.
Is it just a nonstop process? Because I would imagine that you've gone through it and have cleared everything out, but it comes back, or?
I don't think so. So like one example is like I used to have my lower back used to go out a lot.
Oh,
to the point where I'd be on the couch for like 3 or 4 days.
Oh my gosh.
And knock on wood, that hasn't happened now in probably like 8 to 10 years. Right.
Okay.
And when I work with people, lower back typically relates to like powerlessness, stuck, lack of support. And once you work through that stuff, then there's no longer from a spiritual vantage point, there's no longer a need for that manifestation, because our physical, ailments are there to bring us awareness.
Do you like, can you like predict patterns in the future? If like, oh, my left arm's maybe not my left arm, but my right leg is acting weird today, that usually means this, and then something happens.
I don't know if you could necessarily predict patterns, but like, like if I look at breast cancer as an example, everybody that I've worked with as clients who had breast cancer, there was always a pattern of lack of nurturing in childhood.
Really?
So if I do an attraction point audit with somebody and there's a big theme of lack of nurturing, then would I predict that they're going to get cancer?
Sure.
No, but there might be a heightened possibility.
And so you just, let's get rid of it here or be aware of the possibility.
Yeah. Okay. And I don't think any future possibility is set in stone. It's like Bashar says, it's all probability. So when somebody is psychically tuning in, what they're tuning into is like the current energetic highest probability path, but that path can always change.
Okay. Yeah. I was playing around with addiction last night. I'm like, I'm addicted. I got to start learning that. I got to learn that 12-step program.
Yeah. I think when it comes to addiction, it's about like, it's about learning about, what's the emotion that's getting either resolved through the addiction or, it's finding a way to not depend on the substance or the activity to feel the way that you're looking to feel in those things, or the relief that it's looking to be provided.
Well, they were saying like a connection to God or source, right? So it's you're replacing that connection, or you're escaping. See, I'm getting it wrong. It felt like you're kind of like avoiding contact with what you really want contact with, right? Is that
Maybe.
Yeah.
The way I see it, and I mean, maybe it's different for different types of addiction, but like the way I see it is, it's like it's seeking relief.
Okay. And so with that, then but like part of what we talk about all the time is feeling good and feeling the best in every moment.
Yes and no, but you still want to honor and look at, what you have that's coming up at the surface. So like, if you look at the path of manifestation,
Okay.
source will give you an excitement of something that you're going to desire. And then you're going to work your way towards that desire. But that path is a vibrational path. So the purpose of that path is not the end manifestation. It's the journey to it. And in that journey, the resistance that stands between you and that end result need to be processed. They're going to come up to the surface.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it felt like you still should, I should be a little disciplined in my practice of that.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean don't be disciplined, but it's like,
Yeah.
if there's a discomfort, and this is for anybody that's tuning in and listening, like Abraham-Hicks gives the impression that you need to turn a blind eye to all of the discomforts and not process them and not look at them. And it's great if you want to feel better in that moment. But really, if you're looking to evolve, you need to look at that stuff and transmute it and let it go.
Do you think most of that Abraham stuff is like you're running from stuff then, essentially?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I mean, Esther's dominant intent in the Abraham work is upliftment.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know how that factors in. In that moment, you might be upliftment, but you're not going down a path of transformation. You might in some cases, right? But like, if you've got underlying emotions of I'm not good enough, then reality can't stop reflecting that back to you until you work through it.
Yeah. But see, a big part of what she says though is that by bringing that up, right? She talks about therapy and how they'll bring that stuff up.
Yeah.
And it's actually bad. So she's saying no, counter to what you're saying.
I've heard mixed things. I've heard her say, more recently she's been talking about, I guess, working through stuff too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And you got to remember too that like the message that she shares is also like what the audience that's in front of her is ready to hear. Right. So like when I went on stage for my last hot seat, which was in May in Amsterdam, I wanted to talk about resistance to resistance. Okay. And she just she heard my question and then just dovetailed to something completely different with the story and never came back at all to what I was looking to talk about. And maybe she just didn't want to go there. Maybe the audience, wasn't receptive to that topic. Maybe she has her own agenda. I don't know. And really it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Yeah. Do you use hypnosis option to transmute the issues?
That's one of the tools. I use something called subconscious alchemy, which is like a mixture of hypnosis and like guided meditation type stuff and anchoring and NLP. It's like a mishmash of things that I use. I haven't done them a lot lately. I used to do them like in groups of 6 and in some of my membership programs too.
Yeah, but you're always the practitioner. So what do you do? What do you get?
We actually struggle. We actually struggle, Anik and I, with finding people for me to work with.
Oh.
Oftentimes they kind of, it's like they don't know what to do with me. So they're after a couple of sessions, they're like, yeah, we're done with you. So and it might be my vibration of not being great at allowing support. Yeah. That's not allowing the right people to show up for me either.
Yeah. Do you feel like that? Like, too much that you can almost, I've tried that, or
No, it's like I'm always looking for the right people. Like, for example, there was somebody this week who we thought would be a good fit for some cranial work and craniosacral therapy, which is good for relaxing the nervous system. And then Anik was chatting with her yesterday, and she said, "Oh, I can't take clients right now. My husband's company's secretary is off on medical leave, and I have to go work at his office." So it's like all these we'll call them barriers keep coming out. That are kind of getting in the way of that.
It's a situation where you don't think you could do it yourself. I mean, maybe you could, but
no,
you can't.
Like something like, hands-on, like or hypnosis, you couldn't do it yourself.
Sure.
Yeah.
Even for real though, like I thought you would do like a self-hypnosis thing.
Like I can't listen. I don't like listening to my own recordings.
Oh, okay. Huh. That's interesting. Like, yeah, I'm surprised. I just would almost imagine you would have a hard time receiving help. I don't know.
And it's not that it's not that I have a hard time receiving help. It's more like I'm having, I don't want to use the word struggle, but like lining up with the right practitioners hasn't been flowy. And obviously there's a purpose behind that. And Anik gives me Reiki, and she channels when she gives me Reiki, and I'm still getting aspects of that type of help through her.
How long's all that been going on? Like, is it more of a recent thing?
Oh no, it's been for like
a
while.
Okay.
Yeah. Like last year I booked 3 sessions with like a energetic massage therapist lady who's very connected, and her requirement was a minimum of 3 sessions. Did the first session, and then a month later, before my next session, she messaged me. She said, "I don't know what to do with you, so I don't think we need to do it." So it's like, okay, so maybe I'm just really aligned and really grounded in a really good place.
Oh, that's what she's saying, is that you're good to go.
That's what it kind of feels like.
Really? Oh, that's cool. Has to feel good, like you've graduated.
No, to me, it is what it is.
All right. There's no questions. What are you talking?
How's the chat doing? How's everybody doing out in internet land? What's new with you guys? On everybody's mind. Yeah, I think the time, what is it, daylight savings time shift?
Yeah, that was so long ago, but I haven't had to wake up at all.
You're spending all your time in bed?
No, it's just I've got my normal thing. Like I wake up now. It was at 9 a.m. and now it's 10 a.m. and I'm like, wait, hold on, I got to be up at 8.
Yeah, I realize I feel like I'm like moving in slow motion more than
of course. I don't know why they do that. Why do they change that? Silly. I'm yelling.
I'm sure
my daughter the other day, she goes, "Why do you yell at the TV all the time?" I was rooting on basketballs. I don't want to hold that in.
Yeah,
I don't want to hold it in. I'll scream at television, any screen. Been winning big money.
You have?
No, you.
Oh, me? No, I have. No, I haven't been doing. I've been like off of it. I've done 2. I've done 2 remote session days. I've been really busy actually. Since I've been playing with the idea of like separating the predictions from the remote viewing. So I did a test where one day I did a remote viewing.
Yes.
Or I did 3 of them, and I was like, I practiced like utmost confidence in my results.
Okay,
so
good.
I was like 100%. This is it. There's no way it's not it. And I got our typical results of like 66% on target. And then I did another one where they were very on target. So one was a glass of water with like lemon, and I had written the right word down, taste like lemon, a whole bunch of stuff. So it was like 100% accurate, but I purposefully practiced like the opposite of like the uncertainty where, well, it could be this, it could be that. Like,
really?
And yeah. As a test, I went in with the like, because for me, this is all like research, right?
Sure.
And so with all 5 of the targets, even though I knew the targets matched, I went in with like the highest level of uncertainty that I could like calibrate to. And from there, only one of them was correct.
Okay.
So to me, that's kind of, I'd have to do it multiple times for like 100% evidence. But to me, that's evidence that it's not even about the remote viewing. It's about the confidence you have in your pick, regardless of what you're viewing.
Yeah, exactly. It's all the confidence,
Yeah.
which is the whole point, because then you take this and you apply it to everything, right?
Absolutely. That's the building of this muscle. So for me now, there's two aspects of this stuff. One is strictly the remote viewing, right? Like when I help Lydia's mom find that missing object or whatever it is. So there's developing the skill of remote viewing and the accuracy of the remote viewing. And then there's the other aspect, the other muscle building, which is like the choosing of outcomes, whether it be a sports outcome or what you have for dinner or whatever. It's practicing the muscle of certainty.
Yeah, I still play with that. Like yesterday. So yesterday I let myself have one. I was like, I did my thing. I saw like horizon was high, then the horizon, like I break segments. It was high in one, it was low in the other. When I put them together, now it's in the center. And I'm like, I think it's buffaloes in the background. I can't, there's like something drawing my attention in the very center. Everything's very symmetrical. There's diagonal, all this stuff, right? And then it was a bullhorn. So it wasn't a buffalo skull, but it was a bull skull. And I was like, all right, like nailed that one. 100%. I know this is it. It was the most exciting game, the most like game. I was like, I get one. I get one of these. If you get it right, good. One. It's too much. I was doing 3, 4, 5. I was like, because I like watching the games. Like I want to get that extra excitement out of it. It's fun.
Yeah. And for me, I know that like emotions and all of this stuff gets in the way of all the, for me, I'm like, I want it to be completely like emotionless.
Yeah, you're missing out on the fun game.
Yeah. See, I don't watch any of that stuff anyways.
Yeah, it was college basketball. Forget college basketball. I was getting excited for March Madness, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna not gamble on that one.
That's right. That's big in the States.
The way they were ending the game, I was yelling at the television, yelling, screaming at it. Like, why are they doing this?
Yeah.
Okay. Exhausted mentally and physically from trying to empty my house, but I still feel charged up about getting it all done. So it's like a common trend. I know it was a new moon or whatever.
Cleaning up. Yeah, I know Dave's retiring, I think, at the end of next month.
Okay.
So I think he's cleaning up his house and going through a lot of big life changes, which is good.
Dude, I had the moon doesn't affect me normally, but my goodness, when that day, it was 2 days ago, whatever it was, it completely changed how I was feeling. That month before sucked. I hated that month. Completely changed it. I feel so different. Yeah. I've never felt that.
Yeah. And I think depending on what your own placements are, different moons are going to affect people more or less.
Oh, is that what it is?
Like if you're a Gemini and it's moon in Gemini or something like that, it may be more potent for you.
Oh. Say, yep. Is there a group of remote viewing practitioners that could help find a missing person?
So I don't share any details. So do you want to do tasking or viewing for that? Do you want me to find? Yeah, I'll do some viewing on a missing person.
I'll task it.
You want to do the tasking?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you share your email address with Piper so she can send you an email with some info?
Yeah, or I'm on Facebook. Do I need the info? Do I want the info?
I don't know. Piper, send an email to nick@nickbreau.com. Don't include any details at all. Zero details. If you include any details, we can't do it. So just send an email, say that you're looking for help to locate a missing person, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. So, because if you were doing that, you would want to be walked through it.
I would want to be blind. So what you and I will do, and so far I've done 2 missing things as practice, and we located both of them. So what we'll do is you'll set up a tasking, but you'll also set up 2 other taskings, and I won't know as the viewer which is which.
Gotcha.
And then 2 of them will give us feedback as to whether we're zoning in properly, and then the last one will hopefully help find that missing person.
Okay, let's go through it real quick, because like, so my other things would be like the betting on a sports game.
Yeah. Well,
All
no,
right, cool.
no. I mean, we'll talk about it after this. We'll come up with the
We're
strategy.
talking about it right now.
Okay. Yeah. No, come up with like things like, describe the location of person XYZ.
Sure. Okay. Great.
So we'll do a couple of those as practice, and then you'll throw the actual missing person case somewhere's in the mix. So I don't know I'm actually doing missing persons.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I can do all that. Record it.
I got to task our side dev group too. I haven't done that yet this week.
Yeah, that was interesting. I couldn't find that one. I don't know what that one was. Oh. Does the missing person have any influence over remote viewing?
No.
Go ahead. What do you think she's asking there? I'm not following.
I think she's asking if the missing person can like put up like an energetic wall that you can't find them. I don't believe so.
Or the opposite of like wanting to be found. Does that shoot out?
I don't know. I don't have any direct experience. My interpretation of remote viewing is you're basically like going out into the grid of all that is, right? Because everything is contained within you, and then you're accessing the data within that grid.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. If they don't want to be found.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. I'm guessing. I don't think it matters.
That's interesting. Yeah,
this will give us another kind of practice to do, because we've been doing tons of practice of images, describe the image, but now this would be a practice of like honing in on a location.
Oh, I've got stuff. I've got locations.
Because something that helps, like if you're looking for a missing person, if you know they're within a city, then like the data that you're going to be interpreting or looking at might be very different than like if you have no idea where they are on the planet.
What if we like kept going back to those? So I'll task you 3 different things. What if we just kept going back to them and back to them for like 3 days? Would you do that?
Yeah, totally.
All right, cool. Yeah, we've never done that.
Yeah, we'll play with that.
All right, cool. I love that.
And we still have other objects to practice with too that people submitted that I need to go back to. Maybe
I keep wanting to show you like cards.
Cards?
Yeah, like a playing cards, like a deck.
To do what?
I don't know. Just can you read the top card?
I asked about that in a channeling session, and they said it was very difficult, and I can't remember why.
Because there's no connection to like the ace of spades or something.
It's because of the way the deck is stacked together. I think something like that.
Oh, like there's
like when the best practice that Nick and I do is I'll tell her to find a picture on Instagram on her phone, and she'll look at the picture, and then I'll describe the picture.
Yeah. That are you playing at all with that like automated one? I don't know what to call it, but you sent me a link and it just sends out however many pictures you want. It's awesome.
Oh, that's what I've been using to play with the ARV stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I get duplicates once in a while, or I'll get an image that I saw a while ago.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But what I wonder is if neither image matches your data, could you refresh it until something does match and then use that as your pick?
So I had that happen, and it happened 2 in a row, and I shouldn't have bet those games. All right. I had a dream. I killed someone. My daughter was like, "You don't like your inner self. Opinion on dreams."
Maybe she was trying to kill her inner self.
Go ahead. What do you mean?
I don't know.
Like Michelle's trying to kill her inner self, or the daughter is?
Well, the daughter says my daughter was like, "You don't like your inner self."
Oh, I gotcha. And so, so Michelle's trying to kill her inner self.
I don't know. I'm awful at dream interpretation.
Yeah, right. What is it? Yeah, it really means that you want acceptance.
What I typically tell people is like, explore what emotions surface in that dream, and maybe look at whether those emotions are emotions that need to be explored.
It would have been cool with your toucan dream if you like got lucid during that.
It was just so weird.
Well, I think most of the time it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that very rarely do I wake up and be like, "Oh, that dream was practical." It's always wild.
You know what? Maybe 90% of our dreams are practical, but we don't remember the practical stuff.
Is that what it is? It's not exciting. Forgot about the time difference. Here they are.
Yeah. So what? It's bad enough that we have daylight savings time. Why does it have to be 2 weeks later in Europe?
Right.
So now the calls are an hour earlier in Europe, even though they're the same time as usual in North America. So weird.
Yeah, that messes you up today for your calls.
I remember when I used to have a lot of one-on-one clients. If you had if I had a North American client followed by a Europe client, well, all of a sudden now there's a scheduling conflict because their times are all on top of each other.
For 2 weeks?
Yeah. Well, then I'd have to message people. It's usually 1 week or 2 weeks. It's almost like different areas do the daylight savings time at different times of the month.
Yeah. Okay. I'm all out of questions. Come on, people.
Yeah, give us a topic to talk about. What else you guys want to talk about? We're slow today. Daylight savings times is
really that's slow today.
Yeah.
Look, there they go. Can I get Nick B's interpretation of what Abraham-Hicks term leading edge means or represents?
I think leading edge is another word of saying at the forefront.
Okay. Doesn't it feel a little different too? Like when something feels leading edge, it feels like so unexplored.
Yeah. And to me, so it's funny because for some reason, my YouTube has been filled with Bashar stuff lately.
Okay.
So I've been listening to some older Bashar clips and I got reflecting on highest excitement.
Okay.
And 5-10 years ago, my highest excitement was, big money, big travel, yachts, all of this like big stuff. And like for the last couple of years, my highest excitement is like going into the woods and throwing plastic circles. Right.
Sure.
So like my highest excitements have changed a lot in the last, let's say 5 years. Yeah. So I was really reflecting on like, what is truly my highest excitement? And what came to mind was like, my highest excitement is still is leading edge. My highest excitement is like showing people what's possible, bring the what can't be done into the realm of doable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. See, she's asking forefront of what, but that answers. You're leading to the extreme of society or your group.
Forefront of expansion, forefront of what's possible in physical reality, forefront of new ways to do things.
And I think a lot of that depends on the person, right? You're a person that wants to share this stuff, whereas, a lot of people might be, this is new to me.
Yeah.
This is new to me. And
so if I look at my blueprint, my true sidereal astrology blueprint, I am here to be a teacher. And the way I'm meant to be teaching is through my own life experience. Yeah. And to me, if I figure out how to win the lottery every time using remote viewing, if I figure out how to do that, that good for me. But the more exciting aspect of figuring that out is to be able to teach everybody else that they can do it too.
Right.
To me, that's the exciting part is like, yeah, I love chasing big manifestations and big money and all of these, amazing relationships and amazing, I love amazing things. But if it was just me experiencing that by myself, it doesn't feel very good. The fun part is bringing it to the world.
So I was thinking about your lottery thing because you mentioned it the other day with me. Do you think that, so let's say like your chances of winning the lottery became 1 in 50, 1 in 50. Now you don't know it's 1 in 50, but the universe does. Okay. Just knowing you, are you going to be able to hold out and do 50 in a row or 100 in a row to find out? Because I think maybe certain people like certainty. Like you and I got to a point where you really could do 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's not because it's about the end result. It's the journey of it to the end result. Right.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm doing let's say 3 remote viewing sessions a day or 5 a day. Well, I'm not doing it because I want to turn $2 into $4 because I'm betting a $2 bet on it. I'm doing it because I want to refine the practice. I want to get to a place with my remote viewing, which I really believe is possible, where you can, bilocate to any place on the planet and describe exactly what's going on there.
Yeah. My question would be though, like if you change, so if it really truly was 1 in 50 and you're 35 in and you're like, I'm changing my whole process. Now it's almost like you start over again and you start over again and you start over again.
Yeah.
I wonder about that. Like where, some people might want it to be more definitive or 100% every time. And there's certain things where you and I can do where it really is 100% every time.
Yeah, but I want to get to a place where like you could have 50 pictures and that picture number 82 is exactly what Nick tuned into.
Okay.
I want that level of accuracy.
Every time.
Every time.
Okay. Let's go to something else. Certainty the same as faith.
I think I would tie faith to trust.
Okay.
Right. I think faith is another way of saying trust. And I think trust implies doubt. I think there's a vibration of uncertainty and trust. I think my favorite word in the context of this is knowingness. Right. And I think when we're doing our ARV sports predictions, I think the state that leads to choosing the correct outcome is knowingness.
Okay. Do you get like baggage attached to a word? Like trust used to be fun for a while and now it became something attached to it?
I think my understanding of trust evolved with my own spiritual growth. So like there's a common tagline which is trust the universe, right? Or the universe has your back. And I think I'd go as far as saying that that's almost like a toxic statement, because like the universe isn't an external entity that has your back, right? Universe is reflecting back to you where you're at vibrationally, right?
Okay.
So your inner being has your back, your source self has your back, right? So a lot of people will put trust in the universe when in reality the power lies within them.
Right. And to tune into that.
Yeah, tune in and exercise that power. So like knowingness, and this is really what we're practicing in this remote viewing play with the sports, is like it's literally about growing the muscle of knowingness. Knowingness, our definition of knowingness is I see that this pencil is yellow, right? So I allow my reality to reflect back to me a state where I'm using that as a permission slip to create the feeling of knowingness.
Okay.
Right? Knowingness is a feeling, just like worthiness, just like good enoughness. What's different about knowingness is that we need our inner critic or our ego needs evidence, which we use as that permission slip to activate the feeling of knowingness. But reality is purely a projection of what we're putting out. So knowingness is actually something that we can create. And it's a very hard muscle to develop because of how we're programmed. But I think you can get to a point where your knowingness muscle could become so strong that you could just walk into a convenience store and say, yeah, I'm going to buy a $50 million lottery ticket. And say, yeah, I know I'm going to win. You don't have to pick the numbers or anything. You just have to step in with such strong knowingness that like it has to happen. And I think that's how they said Jesus operated in some way or something like that. Know their well-being so intently that they would heal.
But you're thinking it's just a little different than like if you had faith of buying that $50 million ticket, you have faith of doing it. Is it just semantics? It's just like wordplay, or
I think it's going to be a little bit different for everybody. So like,
okay,
to me, faith feels like it's very external focused.
Okay.
Like
instead of just saying I have faith that
faith is like I'm trusting in something outside of me.
That's interesting. It must be.
But that's just my interpretation. Yeah. It might be different for other people.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But like, it's finding what resonates with you to get to that point. It doesn't matter what the word is.
And choosing the definitions that are empowering for you as well too.
Yeah.
right? You get to choose the meaning of anything and everything.
Yeah. I know left screen, Nick.
Which one is left? I don't know which one is what for everybody out there.
I think that's you. You're on my left, so unless it's stage left. Okay. Has said he doesn't follow any other teachers. Yeah, that's you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll listen to Bashar once in a while. Like if a clip comes up on my YouTube that I'm drawn to, I'll listen to it. But like I haven't read, I mean, the book I'm reading right now is about art, even though it's about, it's about left brain development, which was it's an art book, but it was required reading for all the military remote viewers. So like, because the work that I do is spiritual in nature and personal development in nature. So all my live calls on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and in this, like outside of this and outside of when Nick and I are channeling and talking about it, like I've had enough, right? I want to go do other things. I want to go play disc golf. I want to go work out. I want to, I focusing on the same topic every day, all the time would become exhausting.
Yeah, that's what they say. Like other artists can't listen to other artists, or other musicians, like or comedians can't listen to other comedians. They have to listen to a different form of art.
Yeah, it's not that any of these other teachers are saying anything that's wrong or bad or anything like that. It's like I want to, like, my most delicious source of information is my own connection.
Right.
And we all have that. And I feel like our own connections are feeding us exactly what we need. And sure, there might be a synchronicity that leads you to a book which also has what you need, right? There's different paths to everything. But I think I'm less in a place where I'm seeking answers and seeking knowledge. And when questions do come up, well, I sit down and I do a channeling session with Nick.
Yeah. I'm in the complete opposite.
You're in consume mode.
Nonstop my whole life. But also, like, yeah, when I really started to recognize what I was doing, it's making a lot of sense. Like I'm avoiding that connection because maybe I don't want to have to act right now, or I don't want to hear the right answer.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so I shut my head off and I watch stuff. It's the only time my brain is quiet. It's the only time. It's when I'm watching things. And so I watch everything.
Ooh, but here's so this goes back to something we used to talk about on the live calls, which is de-intellectualization. So for me, that switch happened. So I used to operate in like read, consume. And that switch happened when I stopped having the need for intellectual processing of my reality and live through like intuition and impulse rather than like understanding and figuring stuff out. And there's no right way or wrong way to do it. It's just the evolution of how I now, experience and process reality.
Yeah. Do you think that but when you're watching a movie, are you intellectually involved? Because that doesn't happen for me. Like if I'm watching YouTube and watching teachers, which I do all day, I've got a list of teachers to tell him, but it's the only time my brain shuts off. I'm like a part of it.
Yeah, I would say similar. Or if I am analytically processing what's being said, I'll pause it every once in a while to really take in what's being said.
But then you've said you've had enough. I mean, especially if you're creating it all day.
Yeah. And it doesn't happen often. It'll happen like, last night I'm laying in bed and I've got the YouTube on. I'm like, wait a minute, like there's Bashar here in the middle of all my disc golf videos. Maybe I should check this out. Right. And I'll check it out.
How long do you hang with a Bashar teaching? 5 minutes and you're like, okay, I got what I needed out of that. Yeah. There's times of that. Like there's really good thumbnails that I keep running into, and it's like this is what I want to do with you. The talk is whatever. It's I think it's all AI now, but it's like good stuff and it's getting a lot of views and it's engaging. But it would be better to have like clip up one of your conversations and throw that in there.
Yeah,
these ones they're silly.
Yeah, the video that I watched last night, he was talking about how so yesterday in the Breakthrough Club, we talked about how having a strong expanded energy field is what makes room to allow more into your reality. And in this clip, the same thing. He said, when you expand your field, you have the ability to capture more of what allows the mechanism of synchronicity. So higher probability of the outcomes that you're looking for. But what he explained is that if you take a desire and you shrink it into a pinhole, and you take your excitement for that desire, the emotion for that desire, and you compress it, it raises the frequency of it all. And then when you let it go, it's like it expands out in this big way. And I think what I'm going to do, this is why the video came to me. What I'm going to do after this call is I'm going to script a meditation that does exactly that. And that's what we're going to do in the School of Expansion call later today.
That's cool. Yeah. So I think that probably that's what you needed to hear that in that moment, right?
Yeah.
Like it came to you.
Oh, it totally did.
Yeah. Yeah. My stuff all lately has been, I like Osho a lot. I like Sadhguru. Sadhguru.
Did you watch the Sadhguru Joe Rogan? Did you watch him on Joe Rogan's podcast?
Oh, I love it.
I didn't watch it. I noticed he was on Joe Rogan, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a year ago. It was great. Yeah, I'll go back to that again because Joe Rogan all the time for me, like every day, or he's got 3 episodes a week and I don't miss one.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, no, this is my whole life. I consume all of that.
Kat saying that meditation sounds epic. It's going to be epic. It's like literally based on, I'm going to anchor it based on like some of Bashar's teaching around manifestation. So it's going to be really fun to do on the call today. And if anybody here is not a School of Expansion member and you'd like to be, and you don't know how, or you want a discount code for first month, send me an email, nick@nickbreau.com. Calls are at 3:00 Eastern time every Wednesday. And typically every 2 out of 3 calls are channeling with Anik. So you get to talk directly to source with the hot seats. And then 1 of 3 calls every month, it's breakthrough work with me, or not breakthrough work, but it's like deeper spiritual work, meditation, subconscious alchemy, stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's just, you're expanding your energy field. You're going to see how far you can expand it type thing.
I think what we're going to do, and I'm still downloading bits and pieces of what this meditation is going to be, but it's going to be like a manifestation focused meditation, which we haven't done in probably years. And it's based on some stuff I heard in that clip. Yeah, I'm not going to divulge too much, but our School of Expansion students are going to get to experience it later today.
Yeah. You have enriched so many souls, not by winning the lottery, Nick, so no doubt about it.
But I've already won the lottery and all the amazing souls and people I get to connect with every day.
That's what she's saying.
Yeah.
I have a question for you both. Do you have a single point in time, an event or book that led you to this path? Do you?
I would say my earliest recollection where I would say like the path really started was one night I was laying in bed. And I was already seeing 11:11 a little bit here and there, and it was kind of like, okay, what the hell is this? And I remember waking up at like 11:11, 12:12, like 2:22, and then I remember waking up again. This was all in the same night, and I woke up, and for some reason I woke up and I was able to keep my eyes closed, and I was like, I'm going to open my eyes and I'm going to see another one of those damn number sequences. And I opened my eyes and it was 4:44 on the clock, and that's like, to me, that was like where, okay, something definitely stepped out of the realm of like logic, because I was the computer science analytical rational guy. Started researching 11:11. It talked about how it was the awakening code. I noticed I was an 11 in numerology. It said psychic stuff. So I started playing with remote viewing. The very first remote viewing session that I did, I nailed the target. And then that just sent me spiraling down into studying all things Reiki, healing, energetics. So that was kind of the beginning of my path.
Yeah. For mine, it was, I just, a lot of YouTube stuff that had, here, listen to this while you sleep. Those kind of hypnosis type things. Yeah. I've always been into that. And then, law of attraction started popping up, and I don't know anything about that. So I went into a Reddit group, and actually you messaged me.
Did I?
Yeah. Yeah. And then through like one of your groups, I learned about Abraham-Hicks, and then
I had to get off the Reddit law of attraction stuff because that group is just so toxic and so much bad advice.
Yeah.
And then you put in good advice, and then all these people who think they know better shut it down, and they're like giving horrible advice. It's just a mishmash of crap. Sorry, keep going.
I think you can draw in, like, you can be excited for other people. At least I can, when they say, "Oh, I manifested a new job," or "I manifest." That's great. I'll give that a thumbs up. I'm into that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't dive too much into that. But then you taught me about Abraham, and that's been popping up. I had to like cancel. I have a real like
with what? With Abraham?
When I see like I see animations, and it bothers me. I have to get through that.
Somebody asked to comment why you didn't do them anymore, and I don't know if that person's listening today, but it's because Abraham-Hicks went and decided that no, we're not going to let him do it anymore.
Yeah, and I could do it again, I'm sure. Depends. It feels like a money grab.
Yeah, I think it's going to backfire on them.
Well, that's silly. Yeah. We should animate you.
I mean, I've got access.
I don't think that animation, though. I don't think the animation is the way to go. There's such better, like, there's so many better ways of doing the videos.
It's so funny because Nick and I have been talking about, like, if we launched a YouTube channel, what would we really put on it? What would people want to watch and want to see? And I, for some reason, I struggle with that.
Yeah, because it's almost like they want clickbait, and you're not in that realm. You don't want to play in that realm.
No, because it's clickbait that gets the clicks, like how to manifest $1 billion in 18 seconds using water and a crystal and a spoon, right? It's like it's stupid things that get the clicks. Anyways.
Well, let's say it was here's your sign, watch this video. Let's say it was that simple. Here's your sign, watch this video. I've watched those. And then it's something that actually you could take.
In the back of my head is, who clicks on this crap? So now we know.
It's me. Hey, listen, I would bet that there's someone else in this chat that clicks on that too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It works. But that led me to that silliness led me to a different path, right? And so it's interesting that you are like rejecting of it, but meanwhile you could usher them in.
Yeah, I mean, so recently I had somebody who told me that they've got a channel that's an old law of attraction channel with no more content. It's got 80,000 subscribers on it.
Yeah.
I said, okay, Nick, what would you do with this channel if we let you have it?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. I'm still trying to, people seem to want to overcome scarcity. So maybe it's a channel about overcoming scarcity. Maybe we just put highlights from School of Expansion and Breakthrough Club calls and Coffee and Co-Creation calls. Maybe we just put on Nick channeling. Like, it's almost like I've got so many options that I could put in it that I don't even know what I would put in it.
It'd be interesting. I don't know. Maybe there's a reason you don't want to do it that way. Because I don't know that would be a good way. Like if you have 80,000 people, it's not like it's going to be seen by 80,000 people. Like I have like all my subscriptions. I don't see any of those.
I know.
Anything I'm subscribed
I even think they changed the algorithm so they show you the people you subscribe less.
Yeah.
Like we looked at my son's YouTube the other day and we looked at what was showing up in his feed, and it was none of his subscribers were showing up in his feed.
No, because he doesn't click on those anymore.
Makes zero sense.
No, because they know what you click on. They know what you're interested in more than you do.
Yeah.
That's the best way to find out new stuff is YouTube.
I'm curious, what is everybody else here in this? Are you guys like Nick Caldwell where you click on the clickbaity stuff? What are your thoughts? What do you guys click on YouTube?
Do they have the guts to admit it?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like it would be more interesting to like, hey, can you open up your watched history?
And if I hired you as my YouTube advisor, then what kind of content would you tell me to create on YouTube?
Me?
Or the chat people?
That would be it. The chat, not me, because I've failed.
you would tell me to create the clickbaity stuff.
Mm-hmm. I would. And I'd be right.
Because I think the problem I have with that stuff is when it's a video that says, I'm going to teach you how to manifest $1 million in a week. Well, people go and then they watch this video and then they think it's a piece of cake, and then they do it and it doesn't work, and they don't realize that it's so much more complicated than that. So it's like it's false advertising, and it's misleading, and then it makes people distrust, a lot of the stuff that we teach.
Manifesting 10,000 credits after talking about 10,000 this morning and a down payment for a new home. Yeah, see, that's what it is. It's a specific thing. I want to manifest a new home.
So
you're not doing videos like that. So
I wonder if people would be more interested in watching people have breakthroughs or success stories or pre-recorded meditations.
Yes.
Or outlandish manifest $1 billion in a week. Like what do people really want? And I'd love for people who are listening to this to drop a comment in the chat or let us know. I'm really curious. I feel like I don't know what people want anymore.
My heart says that they want like break down. If there's a list of 10 things that people want, they want to see you take the initial steps of those. Each one could be 10 different videos. And then, but not like it's you talking to camera, or it's not you like talking to someone. I don't know why that matters, but it's almost like even me, like there's someone, the extra person is somehow like confusing unless they get to know that other person.
So you think they would rather watch me by myself or me with somebody else?
You by yourself.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I think it's the dynamic of being with somebody else that makes something interesting.
And I think that then if let's say you did that, right, and it was 20-minute conversation, and then you would clip a 4-minute thing, maybe. I don't know. I feel like lost in it too.
You know what? Maybe I'll send an email out to my mailing list. That's what I'm going to do.
And take a poll. What do they want?
Yeah. What do you guys want? Right?
Real experience breakthrough, not just success stories. Yeah. So it's like, here's how I did it. But I think it comes from the first person. I think it's here's what I did.
Yeah. I think that's important because you see a lot of success stories too on the internet that
or if you do talk about someone's experience, right? You're telling an abbreviated story.
I want that person there. I want, people are gonna learn more by adapting or feeling the vibration of the person who had the success.
Yeah. More breakthrough stories that are similar to mine. Yeah. But I think you could tell, like if you were, I think Abraham does have a certain way of doing it right. They say, oh, last week in Phoenix, we talked to a girl that had this, right?
Has Abraham-Hicks done that?
Oh yeah, all the time.
I don't think I've heard her do that. I know she tells her Jerry and Esther stories.
Yeah, but then she's like, the lady last week said, or the lady in Colorado said this. She does that all the time. Okay. And it was like an abbreviated, like 1 minute
to be honest,
thing.
I haven't listened to Abraham-Hicks since I did the last Abe cruise. I mean, I was at the May seminars, but I haven't listened outside of being there live since 2020, 2019, maybe.
Love listening to your music when you speak over them. How about
it's funny. I was talking with somebody yesterday where my most viewed YouTube content is my DJ sets. So it's like, here's all this life-changing information, but we just want music.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the other thing. Does it bother you when you hear like some advice stuff and then there's like soft piano in the background? Like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
You or somebody else, or just you.
Yeah, I would know.
What do you want to do? See, I get maybe that's all that matters is what do you want to have authentically yours?
I don't know. I think maybe like a mishmash of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's good questions here always. It's just a matter of like clipping them up. Just clip them up.
Yeah.
I mean, you always have good stuff.
This channel has 1.72 million views. Which channel?
Okay. I don't know. Ours. I don't know. I don't know what she was saying.
What are you saying, Lydia? Which channel has 1.72 million views?
Hey, that's I think for you.
No, that's for you too.
Yours. She's projecting. Awesome. Nice.
I'll take it.
All right. Let's go think about that. All right.
Cool.
I'm good. Right.
Is that it for today?
Yeah, that's an hour. That's fun.
All right, cool. So yeah, and thanks for showing
a meditation later. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, School of Expansion. If you're not in the School of Expansion and you want to test it out and feel it out. I'll get you a discount code if you've never been in it. Send me an email, nick@nickbreau.com. That's at 3:00 today, Eastern time. And yeah, we're going to have some fun.
Cool.
Perfect, man. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.